Track.
Oh.
Can you all sing? Hi, girls. Welcome to the lovely Ladies of Midnight. I am so excited about this edition. We have some great topics to let everyone know about tonight. And 8 is a wonderful number biblically. It's new beginnings. So I'm excited about the show and all the new beginnings and the places that we are going and the informative information we're going to provide people. How have you been, Maya and Platinum?
I've been busy. Been busy, but busy is good. So I can't complain. I can't wait to slow it down, but everything has been good.
Okay. How are you, Platinum?
I've been working, you know what we do, just working and trying to stay above water.
and that's all changing and blossoming for us. So I'm excited because I heard a real controversial story about Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks, who I'm sure everybody under the sun knows who Tom Hanks is. Tom Hanks says movies and TV shows must start portraying the burden of racism. So I thought about that. The burden of racism. Most people are coming to the movies for some enlightenment, some entertainment. Not that you can't deal with these heavy topics, but just to be weighted down with life's perils. The one reason that we go to the show anyway, to get away from that.
Yeah.
I'm not really feeling that because I felt like you have some people who are misguided, may not be as educated, and they take these horrible scenarios and stories and they run with it. And then they go outside and they cause mayhem because they have anger or misplaced aggression. So I don't think continuing to perpetuate violence through education is a way. How do you all feel?
And, you know, I feel that, though, on a different perspective of that, sometimes people who know nothing about certain situations to have enlightenment to learn. Now they then can go do real research. You know, sometimes when you bring something to somebody's forefront that they never knew about, maybe somebody never knew about the Tuskegee Airmen. Maybe, I mean, it's possible. You know, just because we know, or you know, your friends may know, everybody doesn't. You depending on your circumstances. So maybe a movie like that will make you say, "Well, let me do some more research. Let me dig deeper in my roots." In my family, maybe. You know, sometimes these movies are not just, oh, I'm angry now. And when you walk past the white people, you know, it doesn't have to always be like that. Sometimes you come out like, wow, did this really happen? Like, now, let me check the facts. Because, you know, movies, they add and subtract and put in what they want in, you know, in some instances. So then I might go home and say, let me look up something. Let me Google some stuff, you know. So it's not always a bad thing.
Okay.
You know, it's interesting because trying to actually show the burden within itself is going to be a difficult thing to do. There's been tons of movies that have discussed and shown the black light.
Right.
I was just rewatching The Green Book about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
The narrative is there, the story is there, and actually people do go to the movies to hear stories. Think about it. We've seen everything from Saving Private Ryan to Schindler's List. So people are attracted to go see things that they're drawn to. So I don't think that anything can be too heavy or too light. If you like comedy, you're gonna go see comedy. If you like, you know, if you like historical stuff, you're gonna go see historical movies. If you like horror, you're gonna go see that. So I don't think that'll stop moviegoers from going to see it. I think at the essence of it, it's trying to really show the idea of burden is going to be interesting, because I think part of the issue within the narrative of black people in this country is it's always the same stories that are rehashed. It's either we got to go all the way back to slavery, we're kind of sitting in the civil rights movement.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like telling news stories, because there's lots of news stories that exist. So, I mean, I think what he's saying makes sense, but I think, how about this? Let's create opportunity for more Black filmmakers and writers.
Right. And actresses and actors. Right.
You know, besides being just in front of the camera, let's give more opportunity to be behind the camera and be creators of the content. Just tell the story from your point of view. To me, that would be the difference. And let that be the person telling the story, and the narrative come from there.
Okay, now Tom Hanks is actually saying societal impacts of racism is underrepresented in the entertainment industry. But yet, you just said there are tons of movies that we've seen. So why do you feel he thinks that it's being underrepresented? Or do you think he's just looking for another opportunity to be out here to try to create some more information about, like you say, racism or slavery or miscegenation? What do you think?
Tom Hanks to me has always seemed like a very authentic person. So I don't think that given where he's at in his career, what he doesn't need is traction.
Right.
He doesn't need attention. He's Tom Hanks.
Right.
He's well established in many roles. So I don't think he's saying that because he's trying to be, captivating. I think he probably understands that there needs to be better stories to be told, so to speak. So it's interesting because, again, I don't want the entire Black experience to be wrapped in the idea around racism. How about the fact when people saw, about the fact that there was a Black woman who helped put men in space? Those are stories to me, the unsung stories that never get told, that I think are important, to talk about someone like Benjamin Banneker, there's stories that can be told, and I don't want the entire reality of Black people to be about racism. So I commend him for saying we need to step up and create more opportunities. But let's be careful about the continued narrative. We want to educate people.
Yeah. Right.
Just kind of lay our hands on the fact of just racism.
Right. Because there are great things that we have in our culture. It's not all misery and woe is me. And, a lot of it is we came up, we stayed up. So, we have stories like that as well. We have a culture of that rich culture as well. So let's showcase some of that. Let's show some of instead of showing, all of the villages with all the dust, let's go to the mansions and the homes that they have over there, where they have plantations where the family is buried on your land because it's so massive.
I walked away from the Madam C.J. Walker story feeling like that. Okay. It was empowering to see her. I didn't think she shared as much as she should have with her husband along the way, but
nosy.
He was nosy, but he was just trying to. Well, you know what? I think he was being egged on a lot by his dad. To encourage him to be the man of the house and don't let her run everything. Yeah. He was in a lane he shouldn't have been in. But to see the empowerment, even though she, their perspective was she stole the.
Everything was stolen from us. So I mean, if I get your idea and make it better, is it really stealing, or did I just really make your idea blossom?
It depends on if it's your idea. If you feel that way, it was a good movie, but I had mixed emotions on it because it wasn't historically accurate. They brought into the narrative about let's Black people feud about the color of skin.
Yes,
the woman that woman looked nothing like that.
Right.
I didn't like that they created that unnecessary narrative.
Right.
To kind of make you want to sympathize with Madam C.J. Walker.
But she was dark.
The brown paper bag theory.
I took exception to that. I'm like, that part of the story didn't have to be placed there, and I thought it was inappropriate. And that's the part for me that lost it, because the lady who actually this is based on had schools in Chicago. She was, amazing within herself. So I felt like, why do we have to minimize one story to create another? That's that crabs in a barrel mentality.
Everybody stay down. Now, LaShonda, you mentioned the brown bag theory. What is that?
You heard of that? My grandmother and them used to always talk about how when my great grandmother, when they was back down south, if you were dark or lighter than a brown paper bag, that made you good or bad. On this side or that side. Wow. Like if you hold up a brown paper bag next to your face, and then there you go from there. See how dark you are from that. Oh. Lighter than the bag is great. Darker than the bag,
not so great.
Not so much.
That's me. Not so great. Chocolate. Yeah. So I guess moving right along. Speaking of mentalities and crabs in a bag. I don't know what's going on with Jennifer Lopez. She is back with Ben Affleck, and she's reportedly telling everybody that they're a couple. I mean, the ring is not even warm off her finger yet. I'm sorry.
Such is life.
Did everybody forget about A-Rod?
Such is life. One drop, pick up another shoe. The bus run every 15 minutes. I mean, sometimes you got to get on it. I mean, you can't. So, like, guys move on quickly. It's like, okay, because that's a guy. Of course, he's going to pick up somebody else beautiful or whatever. So when she does it now, it's like, are you moving too fast? Not at, she 50 plus, right? She 50, right?
Yeah, she is.
So 50. Who got time to play?
Well, I can understand that, but everybody's saying Bennifer is back on a romance and they're back together. But I mean, Ben Affleck proposed to her. He purchased her, I believe it was like a $2.8 million ring.
Yes.
He did not give
yes
that.
To the dress.
So now, yes to the dress. So now she wants to go back to him. I'm thinking from a male perspective now, is Ben going to make her keep that same ring? I know he's not going to buy another one.
Baby, he better. Would you expect less? No, it's a certain standard of life. See, we thinking on a different level. When you have money like that, it's not about, yes, you have to do better. You have to. It's going to be another ring if they go there, but they might be having fun. You know, a lot of this, they might have a movie coming out,
what
in
the
fall.
Jennifer's character. Come on. Let's have some real late night talk. What does this say about her character? She's from this one to this one to this one to that one. Just like she's changing clothes. I'm confused.
She just got a little
Where's the longevity?
A little frilly tunch.
To me personally, it's not a good look.
It's not.
I do believe the A-Rod thing really, really wounded her in the sense that I felt she probably felt like she was the one who had changed him. Unfortunately, a leopard doesn't change his spots, but it wasn't just that. I mean, they were blending families, her kids, his kids. I mean, there was a real investment in their relationship. And for a moment there, it maybe seemed like he had turned the corner, only to be the typical A-Rod that we know him to be. So I think for her, she's very wounded. Now, falling backwards into a puddle doesn't make a lot of sense to me because I was like, how did you just turn it on like that? I was like,
exactly.
And then Affleck is messy in his own relationships from his ending of his marriage with, Jennifer Gardner and lots of infidelity there. So I'm going to ask you a question. Why would that be where you're going to run to? Sometimes people need to learn how to be okay with being by themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Now you made a comment. I'm sorry, LaShonda. You made a comment about him being the A-Rod that we know him to be. I know you're a sports fanatic and you follow everything. What is it that A-Rod is doing? Is he like not an upstanding man? Is
he's a womanizer. I mean, he cheated on his wife. He has a history of infidelity.
Okay.
So when he was finally divorced, he was a serial dater. I want to say, I think Kate Hudson was in there. He did tons of people. And don't get me wrong. If you're single, you have a right to do that, so to speak. But there was that history that he cheated on his wife. So he's a philanderer, and that was part of his reputation. I'm not talking about one affair. I'm talking about multiple affairs. Hmm. So, the fact that you want to invest in someone like that takes, a lot of, faith. And I think she had faith that he had matured and had grown because of how they were living their lives together. I mean, they were working out together.
Yeah.
She's the best body of her life because of A-Rod. I ain't gonna lie. I mean, he had her doing workouts, and Jennifer looks amazing. I'm serious.
Yeah, well.
Look at kids. I mean, so now you have to pull this all apart. And the difference is those kids are old enough to understand why, especially his daughters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's true. That's true. Well, maybe they might want to try polygamy. Maybe some people, as much as they try to be with one person monogamous, it just does not happen for them. I mean, I've been looking at the Red Table Talks and things of that nature, and it may be that you just cannot be with one person. Some people feel like that. They get bored or whatever the case is. Maybe it's a thrill of a chase, you know what I mean? So it's not a normal relationship as we view it as, oh, you with so-and-so, so you need to be with just so-and-so. Maybe it's, you know what, let me just do what makes it, as long as it's safe, as long as it's consenting, you know what I mean? I mean,
so you think it's the thrill of the chase, you say?
I think, right. I think people want to put you in a bubble of what you should be. And maybe that's not who you are. You know, you can look at somebody and assume, you know, oh, you should just be with this person, but maybe inside you feel like you caged like an animal, you know, and you want to do other things.
Well, if that's the case, then A-Rod can be whoever A-Rod wants to be. That's the thing about this. Nobody forces him to do infidelity. Now, I get you get married the first time out the gates and you assume that's what you want to do, but then you cheated on your wife. So, okay, so you do some reflection on this. Nobody makes him be into committed relationships. I mean, you have a lot of athletes that, for instance, never got married. Larry Bird never got married till after he was out of the league.
Yeah.
Derek Jeter did not get married, and he was known for the infamous parting gifts that he gave to women when they actually had their interactions.
Wait a minute, wasn't Derek Jeter married to Halle Berry?
No, that's David Justice.
David Justice. Like,
I'm getting my D.
I missed something.
You're right, baseball, but Braves,
right?
Yankees, but you're the ballpark.
Okay.
You know, but because of his demeanor and interacting with women and not leading them down a path, he had a respectable, reputation. So my thing is that if monogamy is not cut out for you, then it's not cut out for you, and it's perfectly okay. Be the Hugh Hefner if that's what you want to be. Hugh Hefner got tied down when he felt like it, but he stayed open.
Yeah.
You know, and just flat out say, you know something? I just find that, I enjoy the company of a woman, and sometimes, and here's the thing, some people love the idea of a committed relationship.
Right.
In it, but they also have this strong yearning for something more. And obviously he has poor personal restraint.
So do you think, because I feel Jennifer has poor personal restraint, do you think Ben is going to be her final stop and they're going to be Bennifer, or do you think she's going to use him for this time as the transitional man and go on to the next one? Because I really feel like she used, and this is me, my personal perspective, I feel like she used Sean Puff Daddy P. Diddy Combs to elevate herself into culture. Then when she got to a certain level, she left him and she went back home with the father of her children, Mark Anthony. Like, she keeps changing. I can't keep up.
You know, the weird thing is, I actually find Jennifer Lopez like Puffy, but Puffy's lifestyle was going to be an issue with her image.
Exactly.
Remember, she was a fly girl. I mean, it worked. They were like a couple that people liked. But when you're in a club and people shooting, that doesn't work for your image.
Yeah.
You have to make a choice of what fits for your image. So I think they were parting company because his image didn't work with where she was trying to go. And she noticed she went from Jenny on the Block.
Yeah.
And let me just say this. I never expected to feel this way, but I agree with Maya. Mm-hmm. I never expected to fully agree, because as soon as she started saying that, I was like, exactly. His image, it couldn't. Her reps was like, baby, do you want to keep being Jenny on the Block, or do you want to be Jennifer Lopez and make some more money? What you want to do?
Do you want to value Hollywood?
Huh? Right, exactly.
Make that decision, and he just wasn't good for her image.
Exactly.
And then the thing too, I think part of her alignment with Mark Anthony was a lot of people questioned her level of how Latino is she really? She wasn't Spanish. People like, she did a great job with the original Selena.
Yeah.
People said that she was Puerto Rican playing a Mexican character because people get like that. So people were questioning, her Latino. So hey.
So why did Ben have to take her back? Why do you think he did it?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out who initiated the phone call. That's what I want.
That's all I'm saying. It might be one of them drunk nights.
Yes.
He don't need to be drinking. That's the first thing. So
well, that's true.
It sounds like Fallout romance. He's in a difficult space. She's in a difficult space. I mean, I'm not saying that they can have a good relationship together. It just, who knows? Sometimes second time around things work. I just think she needs to take a time out to be reflective of where she is right now and stop hopping from person to person. That's all. But hey, some people don't like being alone. They struggle with that. They want to be in chaos and a mess than actually being themselves and figuring things out.
Toxic relationship. You think some people just cling to toxicity to be in the moment, to be in something? I'm engaged, so I'm okay right now. I'm still desirable. I can go back and just pick up what I left.
But think about this. When people are like, we've been engaged for like 5 years, and I'm like, why?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
To me, there should be if any woman who's willing to be engaged for 3 or 5 years, I'm like, what was the point of even getting engaged? Seriously.
Right. So what do you think an appropriate time frame is? What do you think an appropriate time frame is?
I would give it, someone asked you to marry him. It's like, we decided that we want to spend our lives together. So when are we going to start doing that? When are we going to be a actual couple or a family? So I'm like, anywhere between a year, maybe even a year and a half, because maybe it's timing things. I understand people maybe have schedules to work through and things like that. But when you start getting into 2 and 3 years, I'm like, why are you even engaged at this point?
What do you think, Platinum?
Well, my mom and my grandma always said you got to give a season for every season: winter, spring, summer, fall. So if you could survive all the seasons, that's you. But then again, sometimes it depends, and then I feel like that also depends on your stage in life.
Okay.
Like, if you're in your 20s, it's a different 30s, 40s, 50s. It's different stages. Like if I'm 60 and somebody proposed to me and I ain't married, he not married, and we good. Yeah, tomorrow, let's go downtown. Let's get the license. So it depends also, I believe, on your stage in life. Maybe I'm in my 20s because 96 was a good year for me.
Okay.
So I probably wouldn't marry nobody then. But anyway, I'm just saying, I think it depends also on your stage in life, where you are. Some people feel like at 25, let me stop and get married and, live my life.
Okay. So you think it's according to the milestones that you're at this particular
time? It makes a difference.
Okay. All right. So that sounds good. So I had an educational class the other day, and I thought about the show, and I said I want to bring informative public service announcements to create awareness. And we had discussions. It was a group of ladies, and we were talking about everybody doesn't have a car. So people have to get up early in the morning, single ladies, older, younger, in between. They're walking to bus stops, they're walking to the train stations, and they feel vulnerable. I had a young lady, actually, she's a little older lady, but she advised me that she almost got hit by a car walking under a viaduct. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. They did not see you. And she says, no, it's really dangerous out here. And that brought me into thinking about human trafficking, sex trafficking, the things that you put yourself in harm's way to go be able to provide and take care of your family. And you're out here in the street in this big world all by yourself. So I wanted to share some awareness on this because it really just broke my heart. Really broke my heart. So let's just give a listen to this on human trafficking, sex trafficking. And
There's nothing human about human trafficking, especially child trafficking. Learn the signs, make the call, save a life.
Hi, I'm Terry Bradshaw. Like many of you, I took the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge back in the summer of 2014. It was cold and it was a lot of fun. But there's nothing fun about ALS. It robs a person of their ability to walk, to talk, and to eventually breathe. It's also fatal, usually within a few years, and is emotionally and financially devastating to thousands of families across America. It's truly a brutal and nasty disease. But we're making progress thanks to many of you. Since the Ice Bucket Challenge, we've seen new ALS genes discovered, new technology developed that helps people with ALS, and new potential treatments in the pipeline. We still have a lot of work to do. I'm no scientist, but I can tell you this: if we can cure ALS, we can cure anything. Please join me in the fight against ALS.
Right now, the COVID-19 vaccines are available to millions of Americans, and soon they will be available to everyone.
This vaccine means hope. It will protect you and those you love from this dangerous and deadly disease.
I want to go back to work and I want to be able to move around.
To visit with Michelle's mom, to hug her and see her on her birthday.
You know what I'm really looking forward to is going to opening day in Texas Ranger Stadium with a full stadium.
We've lost enough people and we've suffered enough damage.
In order to get rid of this pandemic, it's important for our fellow citizens to get vaccinated.
I'm getting vaccinated because we want this pandemic to end as soon as possible.
So we urge you to get vaccinated when it's available to you.
So roll up your sleeve and do your part.
This is our shot.
Now it's up to you.
Ooh, was that deep?
Very much so.
Very much so.
Very much so. It's human trafficking and sex trafficking is very, it's sad. I've actually worked with a couple people that have made it through an ER that were part of sex trafficking. And it's an emotionally, it's a mental, it's a physical thing that is
gut-wrenching.
It is. It's gut-wrenching because so many times a lot of these young girls are trapped in this and then they become almost to the point where they don't know how to remove themselves. Whether it be fear, they have this sense of connection with the person who obviously is the perpetrator. And what people don't realize is that these sex trafficking circles exist in almost every city. This isn't like a fly-by-night thing. Often it's right in front of your eyes. If you look at the amount of people who come up missing, especially on a regular basis, if you're thinking to yourself, well, whatever happened to them? Especially when they're younger. I mean, it's a sense of concern, especially when you have young girls. I would say you must be mindful of who they're with, where they come and go. It's so important to keep track of it because often young people just are remiss from the idea of how danger is often right there in front of them.
And the thing about it is, like, me and my group of my circle, we have a thing like if you go on a new date, even with my god girls, and they're grown. I have some 30-year-old godchildren. I love them to death. We have a code of let somebody know what you're doing. At least one somebody. So at least we can know which direction to go in. If you might lie to me, but tell somebody the truth about what you're involved in. So, and that's the problem. Everybody's trying to be secretive and sneaky and all of that. But it being sneaky, how do we know to go to the west and you to the south? Because you changed your mind about your plan. Exactly. And nobody would think to go that way. And in this day, you could have been saved, but nobody had a clue that you detour your plan. At least one person. I can't stress that enough. At least have one person that you trust. When you're doing something different and nobody knows the truth, have one person that you can tell everything. Take a picture of the plates. Take a picture of the atmosphere. Something. So that somebody can we could get some breadsticks, like leave breadcrumbs, like, Hansel and Gretel, leave the breadcrumbs so we can find you.
Share your locations, like,
and it's important because I think part of the issue we have in our current society is that technology is fantastic, but it also has really disconnected people from having that interaction they need think about growing up. Your parents knew who you were with, they knew where you were at. There was no ifs, buts, and ands about it. But because someone can simply have a cell phone, they believe that, okay, well, I can always keep track of you. Well, here's the thing. Once you're abducted in sex trafficking, the cell phone is gone.
Yeah.
So no, you no longer have a link. So it is so important to be immersed in what your children are doing. I can't tell you the amount of people that I work with that will drop their kids off at somebody's house and not know who's in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's these nuances of knowing your children's circles of friends and knowing their parents. Those kind of things are extremely important. Now, does it mean you can always prevent something from happening? No. But the more informed you are and the more that your child feels they can talk to you and connect, these are conversations that you should have with your daughter and your son. Like, look, the world is full of people like this, and I know you believe that I'm being overbearing.
Yeah.
But if you come up missing, the chances of me being able to find you is going to be really difficult.
I think society as a whole, because so much is going on, and from so many different angles and areas, people have become desensitized. And what I might find as alarming in my age group, someone else may not, who's of a younger generation. Like LaShonda said, notify somebody. At my age, I still text my mother and let her know where I'm going. I check in. They know what my norm is. So if I'm not home, like for example, last night, I had a young lady in her 20s. She lost her car keys. Okay, sure. I was ready to go home because I was tired when I got off work. But as a mother, I said, I cannot knowingly, with a good conscience, go home and get in my bed. And this young lady is standing outside of O'Hare International Airport and she can't get in her car and she's waiting for somebody to come from a very far location. I think she was like Homewood Flossmoor. Although I was tired, it's those kind of things. I kept saying, well, how are they going to know exactly where to find you? And this young lady says, my mom has my phone pinged. Everywhere I move, she can see it. Everywhere I go. But like you say, if you get disconnected from that phone, then that's a whole nother beast. But just creating awareness about it. I saw the infomercials for the child trafficking and human trafficking, and it just ripped me apart.
And see, the thing about it is, I think a lot of those commercials, we see them, we say, oh, that's sad. And you don't really take it in until it happens in your circle. You know, I don't think people really make these children nowadays more aware. Be aware of your surroundings. A lot of these things happen because it's la-di-da world. It's I'm just walking down the street, I don't see that strange man across the street keep looking over here, looking at me like he want to snatch me. I don't see, wait a minute, where did he go? You know, you're not aware. You know, a lot of times the kids out here are not aware of their surroundings and what's happening, and they just feel like I'm safe, you know, simply just because.
And it's you know, there's this wonderful article I shared probably like about, oh my gosh, maybe 3 years ago, that discussed the fact, something that's even more realistic than sex trafficking, is the amount of young girls and boys that are sexually abused.
Yeah.
Within the Black community, the percentage was almost 75% of Black girls had some inappropriate interaction with someone that they know.
Yeah. And you know why? Because parents a lot of times parents won't listen to their kids. Or if the kids, like you say, don't have a comfort level where they feel they can vocalize their concerns, they live in denial. And what people don't understand is denial is not safety.
No,
it's not safety.
It's not. And I say to people all the time, it's never assume your child is safe with anybody.
Baby.
I don't care if you're related to them. Most perpetrators are people that you know. So I was like, you really have to be selective and informative, and you must educate your child about what's appropriate, what's inappropriate. And if your mother was anything like my mother, if anybody put their hands on you, you let me know. And just in case they try to tell you what they're going to do to me, you know me. Don't even worry about it. You know what's going to happen. Your child has to feel that they can come to you, because that's one of the things that people do is create fear.
Right.
If you do, I'll do this, I'll do that. And I'd be like, no, you won't. But it's interesting because these opportunities present themselves because young kids are often so remiss, like you said, from their surroundings. They're so in their phone. They don't realize that a man has been following them around the store.
For 3 blocks.
Weeks ago where a guy tried to abduct a girl like out of a mainstream store. She was a teenager. And as she was coming out the door, he ran behind her and tried to like scoot her into his car. This is broad daylight.
Yeah. And you know what? Let me share this story. Even I, a 43-year-old woman, I went into a gas station and this man was acting strange outside, but I figured, you know, he was asking for some change, you know, bypass it and, you know, do my business. But when he came in behind me, it was something about him that made me say, wait a minute. And I went down an aisle. He went across the aisle, came down like up to I averted myself and I went up to the front of the store where there were 3 grown men. And I'm looking at them like, y'all don't see him? They was like, you know him? Because one of the guys noticed my face because I'm giving him the look of, hello, welcome to McDonald's. Could you help me? And he said, do you know him? And I'm like, no. They said, dude, what you doing? I'm telling you, I was terrified because in my mind, I'm like, baby, we're going to show out up in here. Try it today. This is the day you're going to get what you're looking for, sir. But please don't.
You have a lot of people that I'm telling you, even, and these kind of things just don't happen to young girls. It's people are opportunists. I had a similar thing happen to me coming home on the train one night. This man stared me down the whole ride. I ignored him. I moved. Everywhere I moved on the train, he followed. And there was only a few people left on the train. And so as we're pulling up to the final stop and I'm standing there, he walks up next to me and literally puts his hand on my hand. Now, mind you, there's 3 other men standing there. I'm not going to say what I turned around and I said because it would be inappropriate for TV.
It's late night. Let it loose.
It was real foul in here. I'm going to tell you that. And the thing is, he kind of looked at me like, But the interesting thing was it was nighttime. It was like 11 o'clock. And this guy says to me, he goes, did you park someplace? Let me walk you to your car. Some of the guys are like, yeah, because this guy was like so not with it to be so provocative and open. I mean, it wasn't just me. It was like other people standing there. So you just have to be mindful about your surroundings.
Yeah.
You're walking to your car from buying groceries. And here's the thing. It can be broad daylight. It doesn't matter anymore because people have become so unhinged and doing such odd things. You must be mindful. I always tell people, stop posting where you're at on Facebook all the time.
Exactly.
People don't even know that.
Yeah. But Maya, you can't be riding the train looking all cute, girl. He probably was like, look at that thing over there. She is sexy thing. He's about to lose it all.
He wasn't much bigger than me, so I felt this was feasible, that I could take him down.
Oh, you said he's going down tonight.
He wasn't much bigger than me. I was like, okay, I can do this. Now, mind you, had he been a larger man, that would have been a different story.
You'd have been like, oh, wow. Exit strategy.
No, I just got on my phone and called 911 before I got off the train. That's what I would have done. I wouldn't even attempted it. I mean, you have to know your limits.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Absolutely. When things are just not safe. So it's just safety is so key, and people must be aware of the surroundings. I'll tell you, in this pandemic, people have lost their mind for real.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're seeing things happen that you would say, I not in a million years would I think this would happen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Important.
You're right.
People have to follow their intuition. You always have a gut feeling when something is wrong. Like something is awry here. I'm not feeling this situation. So, and I am prone to be the person to say, hey, something's going on. I don't have a problem with dialing 911, calling for help, and I keep my finger on the trigger with my cayenne pepper mace. They have the AutoZone for $11.99.
You know what?
That's free for AutoZone. I don't play games. And I even tell my male sons, I think I had to get to a point where I had to stop asking them, like, is anybody trying to do anything inappropriate with you? And I remember my oldest was like, hey, I'm 21 now. He says, anybody touching me, I want them to touch me. It's okay. So stop asking me. Like, you just have to be in tune and you want to know and just keep people safe. I actually heard a children's group and they came up with a new song. And I heard it and I was like, that sounds catchy. And then I got a little closer. I said, what are you all singing? And they said, hey, don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. Isn't that cute?
I think it's, I heard a version of it, but I thought it was stop, don't touch me there. No, STOP. Something, but I heard the no square, and then they do a whole little, a whole little rendition of a dance, and they do a little, this is my no square. I like that. I wish I could get it together.
I think I'm gonna borrow that. Excuse me, that's my no square.
Don't touch my no area,
Like, this is the no square. You're not supposed to be putting your hand there. Thank you.
Well, speaking of don't touch,
did
you all hear that Mariah Carey and Jay-Z got into it? It was explosive. And she withdrew herself from Roc Nation. Queen Mariah is not having it.
I'm going to tell you this. I don't think Jay-Z cares.
At all. At all.
Jay-Z is clocking dollars. And I'll be honest, Roc Nation is not
what?
Most of
it's like one of these polka dots. It's like little.
Title is huge for him. He's the owner of the Nets, by the way, who's in the playoffs. Now he gets residual income from that.
Hello.
I'll be honest, and Mariah Carey is just not what she used to be. That's probably what she's struggling with. She probably said something to Jay-Z. He probably checked her and said, Mariah, this is not 1990.
Yeah. Oh. You know what? She might be doing all this to make people talk about her. Sometimes people create drama. She might have went in there and dropped some coffee on his foot. I'm out of here. I'm not doing it. What?
I mean, she's known to be a diva. I mean, at one point in time, it made sense and it worked. But when's the last time Mariah actually had a song?
Light bulb.
I had a Christmas song. I mean, so I'll be honest.
I'm a Mariah Carey fan. Well, let me just ask you between the two, just theoretically, who do you like better, Mariah Carey or Beyonce? I'm a Mariah girl. LaShawna's gonna say neither. Platinum's gonna say neither.
Well, you know why the reason I like Beyonce though? Beyonce has a shade about her that I just have to admire. Because it's something because you can know that you something and have everybody else talk about it for you. You don't have to come down to their level because you got people that's gonna jump up her beehive. Girl, please. What? They'll shut you down. What you say?
I think Mariah Carey has her Eminem high. She's all about M&Ms. I think that's what her group is called. I don't know.
I'm kind of with you too. I mean, I'm not necessarily big on. I used to like Mariah when she was out. I wasn't like the biggest fan.
Right.
Okay. I like Beyonce. I wasn't like the biggest fan. But if I had to choose between the two of them, I prefer Beyonce's her overall career. I mean, that's work.
Okay.
And how she's crafted this image and how she works at it. And even reinvented herself when she did the whole Lemonade thing, which was interesting. And now she's doing things that are more socially conscious and Black culture conscious.
Yes.
So I have to say, for me personally, I'd have to say I'm going to pick Beyonce. Now, we're not talking about singing. Hands down, Mariah obliterates her.
Thank you. That's all I was talking about.
I'm on that and be like, no, Mariah got her when it comes to the vocals.
Yes,
when it comes to image for me, Beyonce was able to still be the good girl, but still have a little bit of edge. Mariah always was put into a box and got to be nothing more than just Mariah Carey.
That's what Tommy started, I think he started that, created that princess image, and
because he was a much older man. He was a much older man, and when you are able to use your skills of manipulation, I could convince you to be a dove. I want you to believe that you can fly, you're gonna fly. If I keep feeding it to you and pushing it in you, then that's what it's gonna be. And it's gonna be, you're a princess, you're a pretty, pretty diva. Then if you keep hearing that, it's just like any saying you go, it's a good day to be a good day to have a good day. If somebody keeps pumping that in you, then of course I'm a princess. I hear it every day. It must be true.
So allegedly they have separated. Mariah has left Roc Nation. So both of you all feel like Jay-Z is at this pivotal point in his life where he's unconcerned and he won't try to reach back for her. You don't think he's going to say, hey, Mariah, we need you on the label. Come back.
No,
she's searching right now for management.
He doesn't care. He manages Rihanna. He don't need. What are he gonna do with Mariah? First of all, he'd be like, "What are you gonna do with Mariah Carey now?"
Right. At this point,
she's not relevant anymore
at all.
Wow,
yeah, I'm being honest. She's not. I'm not saying she's not relevant as a person. She's not musically relevant.
Right. Because the song. Listen to the music that you hear coming out. Can you see Mariah doing the twerking till you work it, or grinding, slow winding? She can barely dance anyway. So could you imagine her doing some of these moves, the little line dances that's coming out and things like that? No.
Okay.
It's going to be interesting for her to find a producer. Will be interesting.
They're saying that the split was
amicable.
Mariah's idea, not amicable, but they're saying that Mariah and Jay-Z are still good friends, but as a business savvy, they've split the road. So
there's nothing wrong with that. Look, it's not personal; it's business, and I guarantee you, there's nothing here that Jay-Z is worried about. He didn't let something go that was going to be an asset or that was going to make Roc Nation any better than what it was. So, and actually, they hadn't collaborated in a while. Nothing had happened. So, I think the split makes sense. Like it's time to try something new, something different.
And not for nothing, like hate or love Jay-Z, he's an excellent businessman.
Oh yeah.
He spots a bargain, he spots a deal, and he's an excellent businessman. For nothing or less, his music, whatever. If you don't like his music, whatever it is, but when you see the way he moves, you got to give respect where respect is due, and he is the bomb at that.
I do love Jay-Z. I love all his music. I enjoy that. But what I enjoyed most was looking at this article on Coco Gauff. Now, she looks familiar to me. She looks like she might be related to Venus and Serena.
No, she don't.
She doesn't? Not to you?
No.
Have you looked at it? Have you looked at it?
Yes, I have.
Your cousins?
None alike. None.
That is the worst to ask
her
comparison.
lankiness, her play style is very. She might remind you a little bit too.
Not her play style. I'm just talking about her features. Looking at her, they said this is the youngest woman to reach the Grand Slam in 15 years in the French Open. Yes. She's in quarterfinals. Her arms are up, and I looked. I said, she looks like she relate. Like, is she from Compton? Is she related to Venus?
You know what?
Something's happening.
Don't have her as a witness because clearly your eyes do not work well.
Maybe you do need glasses.
Right. She said that.
Now they said, I went to the doctor. I have 20/20 my whole life. He said, yeah, now I'm going to need you to get some glasses.
Right.
It's okay. You got to take me to your store, Maya. I want some fly. I don't want no grandmama lenses. And they like, oh, to my sons, your mama looking kind of old now. Now people still say, hey, you look like you 29. You look like you 30. I'm like, I'm feeling that. Considering my oldest is 30.
They say what? They say
you
look what? 39. Oh wow.
Not
they say
39,
that.
but you know.
Oh, okay.
I'm still in that area. I'm not gonna tell my age because the lady doesn't do that.
Oh well, I must not be a lady. I don't care about that. Why is that such a hang up with black women or women? Period.
Women in general, because it's something that society, another burden that society puts on women in getting. Look, I'm 49 and I'm okay with it.
But here's the thing: the only way to stay young is to die young. So you know I'm not 12, and I got a bottle of Jack Daniels. You know what I mean?
So I don't want to die young. But no, it's because women need to learn to embrace ourselves with who we are, and our age doesn't matter. Because I'm gonna tell you something: age is not what it used to be. I'm not saying this. I'm about to be 50, but realistically, when I thought about 50 when I was a kid, to me that was old.
Yeah.
But look at what 50 looks like now.
Man.
I mean, seriously, you take care of yourself and you do all the right things, you're still looking great. I mean, so it's just a matter of perspective, but women are under that gun. So I'm gonna tell you what, too many people is having plastic surgery. I'm serious, like extreme.
Vivica, I'm disappointed with her overall look now. She was so beautiful.
Have you seen K. Michelle?
Oh yes,
we have seen K. Michelle.
She looks like an entirely different person.
Yes,
I would have told you were lying if you had told me that was K. Michelle. I was like, why did she go do that? There was nothing wrong with her.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful.
But what you see in the mirror, it's a big look at Kim, little Kim. I thought she was a gorgeous girl, and she turned into a cat. So I mean,
but the mentality behind her too, because she also said in the inside that she's a Latino girl. So there's some stuff going on.
Girl, some screws loose. Biggie cooked some screws loose before
you know, she started hanging out with Donatella Versace, and then just plastic surgery everywhere. People are
that was them good drugs that sometimes convince you. I want to be a doll.
They ever look at themselves and say, "I don't look right," because everybody's plastic surgery is not great.
Now that's true. Like, you know what? When you said that, I thought about, remember Joan Rivers? God rest her soul. She used to hack on her plastic surgery. She said, I know. I love that. You know? Because she knew she went too far.
Make the most out of your mistake. I mean,
right.
Yeah. I looked at Vivica Fox when I was researching an article about Vivica and 50 Cent. Vivica Fox says that 50 Cent was the love of her life. And I think she was just sending out signals that she wants him back. And his new woman, Cuban is what they call her, was not having it. And basically she's like, Grandma, I was raised to respect my elders, so I'm not going to come for you. I said, oh, wow. She's hitting way below the belt. Okay.
It's just the kind of, here's the thing. That ship has sailed. And she should stop embarrassing herself. Yeah. She has said this on multiple occasions, even when he wasn't necessarily with somebody. He's not interested. So I get that you, for some reason, you now think he's the love of your life. It didn't work out, whatever the case may be. Let it where it is and respect where he is in his relationship with somebody else. It's done. So why she keeps bringing it up, I have no idea.
Mm-hmm. Maybe publicity, but when I reviewed the article, she was saying, you know, I'm doing really good now. I have shows coming out. I'm about my bag. I'm making money. So I don't know if she thinks that this is going to draw him closer because she's more financially stable or suited to match him. I don't know. But I'm not happy with how puffy her cheeks and her face look. And I wasn't real happy with how puffy Jada Pinkett Smith's face looked. Like Jada's mom looks way better than she does on every angle, from her body to her face to everything. Like you say, why tamper with perfection? We were created the way he wanted us to look divinely. So why not just be happy with that? I had a gentleman tell me the other day, you don't have to wear purple lipstick. You can come with me to Brazil. He said they have a process over there where they're injecting your lips to whatever color you want.
That's okay.
I don't want to commit.
No, thanks.
I don't want to commit to purple lips or changing my eye color.
And the thing is, I'm not saying that, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with plastic surgery. I'm just saying sometimes people take it too far. I'm like, it's okay if you want to enhance something here. Look, let's be honest. After a while, the girls start doing other stuff. So maybe you want to lift it back up, raise you up. That's okay. I'm not mad at you if you decide you want to have breast augmentation.
Right.
Let's be honest. I mean,
right.
I'm not going to say that's a bad thing. But at the root of it, I want you to be doing it because it matters to you and how it makes you feel, and not you're trying to please other people. Because in that case, you're never going to really be happy because you're always going to find something wrong with yourself.
I want to say, when you say please other people, I watched an intense interview with K. Michelle, and she was saying how she got this behind augmentation, and that she really did it to try to please Idris Elba when she was in a relationship with him. And he still ultimately left her for just a regular everyday girl. That's whom he ended up having his baby and spending his time with, but he left her too, for the wife. But keep up. K. Michelle said that she had to have so many surgeries. She was at like 20 or 30 surgeries because this procedure was actually causing leakage in her derriere.
Well, you know what? That's what Maya was saying, the go too far. Here's the thing. If I had the money, it's a couple of things I would do. And I don't care who would say anything about it. How about that? Now, if I came out and y'all don't know who I was anymore, don't judge me, okay? I tried it. Too bad. But the thing about it is, if you're doing it and I felt bad for Kanye's mom. They told her that she could not sustain a surgery that way because of the anesthesia. Her heart couldn't take it. But because she went somewhere else and they was like, well, give me the money. I don't care. Yeah. That's what I wish that was was resolved. These doctors that don't care and just care about money. Yeah. What about my health? What about my overall life?
Lost her life.
Now, this lady lost her life, and it could have been avoided if you had just said, no money's worth it. Because some people in their mind once it's made up, it's made up. But as a professional, you can insist, call out to your fellow doctors, like, it's a lady, she's searching for a surgeon, y'all don't do it because this.
She left So once
she
you
did
those borders, those surgeries are not regulated by the same organization.
Right.
And hence, that's why people will go a lot of places out to get things done. One, they may save money, but two, if one surgeon is telling them no, they go someplace else. It comes with a risk. And unfortunately, with Donda, the risk was she lost her life for whatever it is she was trying to do.
Yeah,
I think she kind of conceded to the expectations of LA. In Chicago, I think she was fine. She felt more than suitable and well enough. And when she got to the land of milk and honey and the beautiful people, she kind of conceded. And unfortunately, like you say, it was to her demise.
Well, I don't think that was the case because my mom had the pleasure of being in one of her classes, and that's when she got on to Kanye, because she said he came up there because Chicago State, my mom's alma mater. He came up there around Mother's Day and read her a poem. And that's when she started liking him. Because my mom is a lover of music, but not too much of the new stuff, Okay. And she said she fell in love with him then because she could see how much he loved his mom. Okay. So I don't think it's necessarily that she conceded to LA's culture. I think it was, now we have money. Let me live my best life. And some people, and that's their best life. You know what I mean? Once if I couldn't do it then, now I can.
Okay.
Okay. I couldn't swim with the sharks in the tank before. I can afford to now, but if the tank unscrew,
I would strongly advise against it, but hey, it's not succumbing to popular culture is difficult. It takes work.
Yeah.
To constantly remind yourself that you are okay the way that you are.
Absolutely.
Like I said, if you don't like being overweight because you can't find clothes, then you make that change because it's best for you.
Or just buy bigger clothes. But
you're right.
You're saying you're not happy with
that
it.
wasn't personal enough.
Like, just buy bigger clothes.
You're
But
right.
it's a culture, just like with Cat Williams. Cat Williams is a comedian who's saying he wants to cancel culture. He said, if you cancel the culture, you weren't funny anyway. Do you all find him amusing? Do you like Cat Williams?
I do.
I do. I think it's his overall persona that makes me laugh because he could be saying whatever. I just watch
I
him.
love him. I do.
There's a level of ridiculousness to me, but I like him. I do.
I do because Cat is controversial. He gonna poke and dig and it's like he's unapologetic. It's like, okay, I did a little crack. Okay, I fell off, or it's like, okay,
He's 100, right?
It happened.
Yeah,
So,
him down. Is that
but
what
he's still relevant. He still cares about the community. He's still, you know what I mean? Aside from all of that, it's still some realness to him about he really does care about, Black community and the Black culture. You know what I mean? So I like that because that's people. That's you and me, Now, he got flaws, but,
It was rumored that he was supposed to be doing a show with some A-list celebrities like Mike Epps and
I like him too.
I like Mike Epps too. But a lot of the huge celebrities that are African American, and he's kind of being ostracized because of his political stances and the things that he's not afraid to speak out about. How do you all feel about that?
Look,
go ahead, Mike.
I'm okay with it. I'm not a fan of cancel culture. I'm not.
Okay.
Because cancel culture doesn't solve the issue.
Okay.
You can't go back and change history or think you're going to right the ship by not addressing the issue. So this new, let's just cancel everything. Well, that's the case. Cancel life, because everything about it is going to be controversial. So, people spend all this time like trying to control people or let's take down this statue. But what never changes is the behavior and people's anger towards the action. So I'm like, look, stand your ground. People have to learn how to respect other people, that we're not always going to agree.
Right.
Boundaries, right?
Exactly. It is what it is. We don't have to agree. You just need to respect me.
That's it. That's all it is. Because a lot of times respect goes way further than anything else, because I can be around anything, any scenario. When the respect is gone, then that's the problem. Mm-hmm. As long as you respect me, I can respect you. But when you cross that line, baddest will hit my hand, because now we don't have a problem. I'm just saying.
There it is. I haven't heard that in eons. I'm not certain how people feel when they actually in a comedian setting, when they're sitting in the audience. Do they feel that sometimes when the comedians come out and then they're talking or they're clowning you or being disrespectful about the way you look or the clothes you have on, I think some of that takes away from the enjoyment. Because guess what? If I've spent $100 or $200 to come and see you, and then you want to talk about my dress or my arms or my shoulders too big, I got a problem with that. Like, we went out one night and I was laughing so hard at this show, and the comedian said something I felt was really disrespectful. And then I turned around and I'm like, he's talking to me?
Yes.
Yeah. Like,
but okay.
The whole mood changed. Like,
wait, you know why?
Because I spent money to get in there.
But you know why it changed? Let me enlighten the people, because she's gonna make herself look like the victim here. In truth, she was laughing that hard because he was clowning somebody else. She was laughing so hard, he said her back was shaking. And now all of a sudden, the laughter stopped. It went from shaking to what? But it was funny when it was somebody else. You know what I mean? So I get right, but that's not right either, though. You were laughing hard at that other person.
Yeah, that's true.
Comedy is supposed to look. You go in with not the unexpected. It's supposed to be your break from the norm, something different. And look, there's a time when political correctness just has no space. It can just kill things. Yeah. And I'm like, if I go to a comedy show and someone's politically incorrect, I'm not going to get in my feelings, because I think as long as it's equal opportunity and you're not ostracizing any one group or you're not focused on one group of people, who cares? But people have gotten so in their feelings now.
Yeah.
What's left?
We're so sensitive.
We're so sensitive. I was like, okay, so it's just, I'm okay with it. If you make a joke about me, I'll be like, okay, whatever. I mean, I've had that happen to me, and I was like, sounds like you're taking something personal, but I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
I knew you would.
Okay. Yeah, I think your skin is a little stronger than or tougher than mine. Yeah, LaShonda, is, if I'm correct and I'm telling the truth about it, it was hilarious when he was talking about the other lady. But when he got on me, honey, I talking about straighten up and fly right. I was like, okay, this is not funny. Let's move along.
But it was funny to me. But she did, when I saw her face, I knew it hurt her feelings, you know. And she, because especially when he said a wig gonna pop out, she was like, oh, how does he know it's not my hair? It was a totally different reaction. But that's what made it funny to me, because her reaction was, how dare you? What?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm up at tops about that. I want you to have a skit, a routine, like I haven't seen anything from Adele recently, but some of these female Luann, some of these female people that are out here, they're doing great jobs and they have a routine in the set and they're not really antagonizing people. So I like that, because I think in life we should focus on just turning not necessarily the other cheek all the time, but just being more empathetic towards people.
Oh, but some people are worth laughing at.
Yeah, it's funny. I am Groot.
Some people are straight worth laughing at. So why are we acting like it's like we're just like, oh, let's like act like it's not true? It's true.
It's funny. Like, you look weird. I want to laugh.
And you know it when you see it.
Right.
Yeah, but it doesn't make it right. You
look like horses walking down the street. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Call it what it is. And then I don't know. I don't get offended easily. I just don't.
You're right.
I don't.
You're right, ladies. So I want one thing that you all can tell everyone who listens to the lovely ladies of Late Night Tonight. We want to let people know that we want to encourage them. It's okay to laugh and have a great time, but at the forefront of everything, be a good person and treat people the way you want to be treated. Thanks for tuning in. Have a lovely night.
Good night.
Bye.